How is that possible? Let me say to any critic, if you can show me just one time in the history of the world where a technological breakthrough could not be repeated 50 years later and wasn't 10 or 100 times better 50 years later, maybe I'll consider that the moon landings are real, but it's never happened. When Lindbergh flew across the Atlantic in 1927, 10 years later, there were thousands of aircraft flying across the Atlantic, 100 times more complicated than the technology 10 years earlier. When they blew up the atomic bomb for the first time in 1945, 10 years later, atomic bombs were 1,000 times more powerful. If they could go to the moon on the first attempt with 1/1,000th the computing power of a cell phone, 10 years later, we would have been on Mars, and today we'd be in another solar system, and there'd be bases all over the moon. Technology does not go backwards. It's impossible for technology to go backwards. So if they can only send astronauts 1,000th the distance of the moon today, how could they possibly send them 1,000 times farther with 5 decades older technology? It doesn't make any sense.